The history of the kilogram is a rather interesting one. Since many places in America use the imperial system, we don't get to learn about this wacky little history. As you have a cool teacher, shout out Mr. Meyer. So here we're going to take a look into it. Starting out, we didn't have these measurements like kilo or gram or Kelvin or milligram or millimeter. Measurement was one of the first creations via man due to how vital it is.
How big was it?
It was like big.
But how big?
In Egyptian and Babylonian records it is said they would use things such as their fingers, hands, and forearms for a basic unit of measurement.
But how big was it?
Dude, it was the size of my forearm.
Dude, nice.
Things such as weight were measured when needed to compare how much something could hold. The object would standardly be filled with seeds or stones.
A darn shame.
Such a tragic loss.
What was the cause of death?
A deep stab wound to the chest, sir. Such a sad waste of...
Indeed, this baby could have easily held over 50 carob seeds.
We should truly tell the family why.
Huh?
So, we stuck to those measurements for a good while, but as civilizations got more advanced, so did our measurements. Turns out, not everyone's forearm is the same size. Due to the creation of a numeric system, it was easier and necessary to use a more advanced measurement system for things such as taxes, and land division, and trade. Yeah, money is the motivator for a lot of things. Ever heard of Karl? Anyways, America's measurement system is basically the same as that brought by English colonists. The Babylonian, Egyptian, and Roman measurement terms evolved from things such as digit or palm to inches and feet. But how about we talk about something actually productive? That's where the metric system comes in. After the French Revolution, it was recognized that their current system for measurement was impractical for trade, as usual. We're not going to get into the meat of all that. Let's focus on the kilogram. In 1973, one Antoine Lavoisier deemed the base unit of mass to be the weight of a cubic decimeter of water at the melting point of ice. In less mouthy terms, a liter of ice water. This unit was named the grave. The term, however, sounded too familiar to the term graph, an earl or count. The people, since the French Revolution was at its peak, weren't too keen on that. People also weren't too keen on Lavoisier, since they guillotined him for tax fraud and selling counterfeit tobacco.
Okay, go. Hey man, you're the dude who created the grave, right?
Le grave.
You're the dude who created the grave, right?
Wait, I am the brilliant finding did such.
We want to show you how much we appreciate it.
Finally, some recognition.
The French also decided to use 1/1000th of a grave, or gram. And since the name was controversial, they decided to change the grave to the kilogram. In 1999, the kilogram was defined to be the weight of a liter of water at 4 degrees Celsius, but the French realized water isn't convenient to how its movement isn't stable. So, it was represented by a platinum physical constant, though changed to platinum and iridium in 1889, measured precisely to be the weight of a grave. While the official name was the kilogram of the archives, the French loved their creation, so the little guy was named a Big K. Currently, the little dude resides along 6 others in the International Bureau of Weights. Now, when it was changed in 1889, 40 others were made and sent as well to other countries. Because, sharing's caring. They had minor weight differences, but they were close enough in weight that it could be okay. Later, all the countries met back up to have a little tea party and play dolls. Oh, and make sure that the big Ks are all the same weight. And they weren't. Whoops.
They don't weigh the same. Sacre bleu!
Oh, 9!
Oh,
So they realized maybe having something physical be the sole thing you rely on for measurement is a great idea. After it happened again. In 2010, German scientists decided they needed to do something about it. So, they decided to work on a pure silicon sphere that weighed exactly 1 kilo, that they could use to find the exact atoms inside it, and use that to define the kilo once and for all. They chose a sphere of pure silicon-28, which contains only one isotope, so that it had no bubbles or malformations inside of it. They also had to smooth it down as much as humanly possible, because a sphere is rather simple to calculate the diameter of, but had to be perfect so it could be consistent.
Okay, Leute, I figured out how to redefine the kilo.
Oh, yeah, tell.
We make a pure, smooth silicone sphere.
Okay, got it.
It will cost over $1 million.
Ich hasse mein Leben.
Using a precise laser, they measured the diameter so they could determine the volume, and using the gaps, they could determine the atoms inside. And so they did it. In November of 2018, the General Conference of Weight and Measures agreed unanimously to the change. And on the 20th of May, 2019, the definition of the kilo was official. The definition of a kilo is now officially the mass of 2.15 times 10 to the 25th of silicon-28 atoms.
It'll cost over 100. Hey man, you're the dude who created the grave, right?
Bro.